reflect and light a candle of remembrance for our fathers, our grandfathers, maybe our father figures, or significant caregivers throughout our lives. So we offer an opportunity for you to come and light a candle for them. And everybody at home, when I light the candle here, you can feel free to do the same. So good evening to everybody online as well. We welcome Karen Knight in church. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. And we also welcome Jackie Edwards online as well. Welcome, Jackie. I hope you have a lovely service a little bit later on. Okay, so we'll start by opening this service in prayer, and then this will be followed by us all saying the Lord's Prayer together. So over to you, Karen. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to bow your heads. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, I ask that you allow me to bring through positive messages of life after passing to those here in this congregation and those online, that there may be laughter, kindness and confirmation in the messages that we receive and pass on. I ask that you place a protective bubble around this church and the online community, send healing and bless each and every one of us that are joining the service today, our families, the animal kingdom and anyone who is in need. Amen.
Amen. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Lovely, thank you. Okay, so I will now light the church candle as we do every week, and when we do this we think about our intention of love and spreading that wonderful light that's within us, even when we feel a bit negative or a little bit dark. Shush shush on the front rows down there, you'll be sent to the back. We're live, they can all hear you. So just think about your light, and just think about expanding that a little bit. Even when we feel dark and gloomy, that light is still there within each of us. It's just dimmed down a little bit. So when you focus on it, extend it out. So we'll do that, and if you can do that at home, and also invite your loved ones in spirit to draw their energy around you as we do. And then I will ask you to just come up the front and light a candle of your own at the front here in a moment. So may the lighting of this candle flame act as our intention to send out love and peace energy to the world. So if you would all come forward to light a candle of remembrance for Father's Day. Thank you.
Well, good evening, friends. It looks like we might have lost our connection to church tonight. We were just waiting for them to do their candle lighting for Father's Day. But the camera there has gone very, very quiet and dark. So what I think we'll do is, if Jackie is ready, we'll go over to Jackie for tonight's address, if that's right, Jackie.
Yes, that's fine, Rob. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thanks very much for joining me. It's always a great pleasure to work online with these churches. I do find it a really exciting way to work because I never know what or who is going to come through. And I do have a line of people, but I have been given something today. And it's something that we can, I hope you don't mind, I've written it down. It's something that we can all relate to. I certainly can. And I've been titled it Grief because it is very, very much in the vein of my life at the moment. So a lot of things have happened, but there we go. Life is life, isn't it? So if you'd bear with me, I would really like to read this to you. One of the hardest things to cope with is the passing of someone we love. The thought of losing someone is unthinkable. The grief we feel is tangible and so very painful. It is a pain we hope we never have to feel. But unfortunately, it is inevitable. The two things that are completely guaranteed in this life is one, that we are born, and two, we'll all pass back to the world of spirit. I know all of us have been through, and some of us are still going through, the awful experience of grief. There never seems to be enough time for us to spend with our loved ones. Sometimes our lives are so busy providing and caring for our families, there is barely enough time in the day for ourselves. We could spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with our loved ones, and this still wouldn't feel enough. But there is a way to ease the intensity of our grief. And this is to understand the deep feelings, deep painful feelings that we experience in our darkest moments is all the unexpressed love we have for them, and all the love that we were unable to share with them when they were here with us. I'm not suggesting that we didn't love them with all our heart and soul. I know that we did. No matter how long or how fleeting that they were here with us, there will never, ever be enough time for us to express all the love that we will always hold within our hearts. And that's why grief is so important. That's why it's so important to understand that it is the outpouring of the residue love that we have and will always have for them within us. I know it's not, grief is a terrible thing to have to go through, but knowing that the pain that we are feeling is the love that we have for them does make it a little bit easier. Thank you for listening to that, and God bless. Thank you very much for saying good evening to me. Oh, Tilly, how lovely for you to be with us from South Africa. Funny enough, Tilly, you're the person I need to go to first. I've got, if you could just say hi to me, please, in the feed, I'll be really grateful. I do have a lady who is here with me, and she has been here with me since Rob and I spoke about 6:15 this evening. So if you can just say that you're still with us, please, my darling, I'll be grateful. This lady, she's a grandmother figure. Now, she makes me feel as if there's Scottish links somewhere. And she gave me your name before you even come on here, because it is double L-Y on the end of it, and I couldn't quite hear what it was. It was Millie, Molly, something like that. But then you come up and it was Tilly. Thank you, darling. And she almost jumped for joy when I said your name. So yes, this lady is definitely for you. So if you can just let me know that you do understand this lady, I'll try and describe her to you, my darling. She would have been quite a well-covered lady. I don't like to use the F word because it's not very nice, but she was rather well covered. She was a well-rounded lady. She had quite an ample bosom. And she's one of these ladies who would have absolutely loved to clasp you into that bosom of hers and just hug you. So if you can just let me know as to whether you understand this lady, please, Tilly, because she's definitely standing here waiting for you to just acknowledge her so she can carry on with this message. And I do feel it's quite a message. I wouldn't say it's a very important message, but it's important to her that she has that link with you. So if you can just let me know, Tilly, just write down, yes, I understand, or no, I don't, and I can go back and ask her. But it is important that I get that acknowledged from you, my darling. And I understand that, you know, connections and such like may be a little bit funny at the moment. So while I'm waiting for you to let me know as to whether you can understand this lady, I'll describe her a little bit more. She would have had blonde hair, but I do believe it has been more out of a bottle than it would be natural. Her hair would have been quite important to her. It would have had a bit of a curl to her. It wouldn't have been very long. It would have been sort of down to this thing. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Could be one of your friends. Thank you very much, my darling, for getting back to me. But she is quite an ample lady, but she gives me that grandmother feeling, as if she's got this unconditional love for everyone that comes into her life, and she holds you immensely dear to her, my darling. And she does want to say that she's eternally grateful for things that you did for her. Now, you may not feel that you did an awful lot for her, but just being around her and listening to her and understanding her where a lot of other people didn't, that meant an awful lot to her. Okay. And she just wants you to say that the things that you're going through at the moment are similar to what she went through with her family. But she's not saying it's anything as bad as what she had, but she's just saying she understands the heartache that you're going through at the moment. Do you understand that, please, Tilly? If you can just type a little yes or thumbs up or something, that would be absolutely brilliant. But she's also telling me that you are doing the right thing as to how you're dealing with it at the moment. You're not going off on the big deep end and going off on a big argument, and you're just letting things materialize as they come along. You're not making things worse with thank you, darling. You're not making things worse, you're just letting things progress. And she says that is the best way to go about it. She says, because sometimes the least said, it's soon as mended. And she loved that saying. A very old-fashioned saying, but it's very, very true. The least you say, the better it is, because once you say the words, they're out there and you can never take them back in. So she's also given me September as very important to you both, but she's also given me April for a passing of someone close to you. But then again, she's also given me October for a birthday as well. So I know there are a lot of things for you to write yes, no, yes, or whatever it is for you. So if you can just let me know that she's got all that right, or I've heard it correctly. She is quite happy. She is dancing, and she's saying she's dancing because there's a celebration coming up around you, my darling. And she says that is something for you to look forward to. Okay. Oh, lovely. Your birthday's in September. Marvellous. Thank you very much. Oh, she's so clever, this lady. She also gave me a couple of names. Now, I'm not really sure as to whether she was saying these names or whether I was mishearing her saying your name, but I couldn't quite hear them. It's either Molly, Dolly, Holly, or something like that. But it is like the Scottish link. So can you take any of those names, my darling? Was I just mishearing her saying your name? But I do. Can you take the Scottish links as well with her, or have you got Scottish links, my darling? Because she won't let me move on. She was always full of life. She's still full of life, my darling. She's still she's got so much energy in her. It's unbelievable. But she also wants you to know that she's around you an awful lot of time, and she does make herself aware of her being around by having that smell of cooking, of baking, and that smell of cakes and things like that she's just made. She comes from the UK. Okay, so she could have been Scottish, but we don't know. Okay, thank you very much. But she is giving me that feeling of having that smell of baking or cooking or that around when she's around. So whenever you smell that, my love, and you've got nothing in the oven, just let her know. Just know that this lady is coming close to you, and that she's always going to be close to you, and she's there whenever you need any help or any energy. She said, just think about her, and she'll be there instantly. Lots of Madonna, I could talk to you all night. She's such a lovely lady, and she's still full of life, and she's just such a big character. And that I could talk with her all evening. She's such a lovely lady. But thank you so very much for being part of this evening, and thank you very much for letting me know the answers to these things that I kept throwing at you. Not the easiest of things to do, but I want to say thank you for you, and lots of love from her, my darling. That's from her. Thank you very much. Okay, just gonna have a sip of drink because I've got a bit dry in the throat. Okay. Right, Stephanie Parker, I've just seen your name pop up, and with that I've had a gentleman just pop in as well. This man, he comes through with father's love. So if it's not your father, it's grandfather. I do feel it's father. So Stephanie, if you can just let me know that you're hearing all this, and you can take a gentleman in spirit. He would have been quite a tall man. He would have been quite a slim man. And I do feel he was if not father, a very strong father figure in your life. Your dad. Thank you, my darling. He would, as I say, he would have been quite tall, quite slim. He would have had this like slate grey hair, but he wouldn't have lost a lot of it. He would have kept quite a lot of his hair. He was quite proud of that. And he always wore it a little bit longer than, I wouldn't say long, but it's down mid-length of his neck here. And he's letting me know that it's either his passing his birthday, just either coming up, or oh, Tilly, thank you so much, my darling. You're more than welcome. It's either kept quite a bit. Yeah, he did keep quite a bit of his hair. Longer in the neck. Yes, thank you very much, darling. Sorry, everyone. I'm trying to get everything. End of the month would be his birthday. Thank you. He's such a clever man. Thank you so much. He just wants to say thank you for those thoughts for his special day today. He did hear all the words, and he said, please don't cry when you think about him. He knows you miss him, and he understands how hard it's been for you over the last few years. And I do feel that he would have left a huge part, like all dads do, leave a big hole in our lives. But I do feel he would have been a very, all dads are wonderful in daughters' eyes. My dad was wonderful, but I feel he would have been one of these dads that most of your friends wished they had. And he, oh bless you, and he would have been quite a bit of a joker. He would have been, as they say these days, down with the kids. He would have been on the wavelength of younger people, and that's why you and him got on so well, because he knew exactly where you was coming from. and your friends always got on so well with him, and he was a bit of a joker, even down to doing funny walks and silly voices and stuff like that. He knew when people need a bit of a pick me up, and he made them laugh when they needed it. And he's saying at the moment that's how he wants to be with you at the moment, my darling. He wants you to remember all the funny things that happened and not all the sad things that have happened around him. And he knows that his illness and his passing was quite a traumatic experience for you, because you had to watch him almost disappear in front of your eyes. But he just wants you to remember the person he was before he was ill, because he was a huge part of the whole family. He made the family, and when he passed, it almost made the family explode outwards. They sort of fell apart, but they're just starting to come back together again. And I do feel that is with all the memories of your dad that bring your family together. Now, I do feel there is a brother that you... Can you just confirm this, my darling? Because he's making me feel, if it's not your brother, it's his brother that is a little bit distant at the moment. He says that he's saying brother has been distant, so I'm not sure whether it was your brother or his brother. My son has gone into his space. Yeah, thank you. Can you just let me know, because at the moment he's just gone very quiet, waiting for you to understand this. He's saying that brother is gone very distant at the moment, and I can't figure out whether it's his brother or your brother. He had a lot of brothers. Okay, have you got a brother, Stephanie, please? Because he's making me feel as if someone close to you has gone quite distant. And I don't mean as in moving away. I mean as in being away from the family, estranged from the family, if that makes sense. My sisters and me don't talk. Okay. And I do feel this is a gentleman. So is it just sisters you have, my darling? And would this be you that has been estranged from the family? Because it is making me feel as if someone has been drifting away from the family because of things that have been said and done that have really caused a lot of hurt and upset within the family. And it's as if people are starting at special occasions, you all get together, and at birthdays you get together, but you don't make that special a special effort to be together as you would do normally, if that makes sense. But I do feel this is a gentleman that is moving further apart. So, okay. Would this be anything to do with partners or brother-in-laws or something like that that's caused the rift? Because I do feel this is down to a gentleman. Dad's just saying that you've just got to take a step back from the situation, stop trying, just concentrate on your family nucleus as your son. I know you said you had a son, but I do feel that you've got to concentrate on your own family. And he said, when the time is right, it will all start feeling better. Your other half, thank you, because I did feel there was a gentleman that has caused this drift. Thank you very much, because this is brother-in-law. That makes sense, brother. Okay, because they just don't. He would think as brother and brother-in-law. That's fine. He's saying that you've just got to stop trying so hard, because I do feel that you've tried so many different things to get that connection back. But until things are being allowed just to settle, it's not going to get any better. So just concentrate on your own family at the moment, my darling. Just concentrate on your son. Just concentrate. Have you got a daughter, my darling? because I do feel that there's if there's not a daughter, there's a young girl that is very special to you that you hold dear. But I also feel that there's also a child in spirit as well with you. And I do feel Dad's got this child in spirit. So if you can just let me know, my sweet. What else have we got, my darling? Okay, he wants to give you. Okay, he's just given me a card with, and then when you open it, it's got one of these. It's like a joke card that everything. Oh, your sister lost a baby. Okay, your dad's got the baby. Okay, because he wanted you to know that he's got the child and it's a little girl, so he wants you to know that he's got the little girl there. He's given me this card for you, and as you open it, it's got one of these springs and let all the butterflies out, and they're all flying around. And I do feel that you have been seeing a lot of butterflies lately, and this is that's right, all the bits fly out, and he is making me feel as if there's been a lot of butterflies that have been floating around you lately, real butterflies. And he's just saying he's been sending those just to let you know that he's around, because I do feel the butterflies were quite important around him. He just wants you to know that when you see them, he's not far away. Thank you very much for working with me, Stephanie. He is taking a little step backwards now. He just wants you to know that he is around you, as I said, around with the butterflies, but he's also around you at night time, and he strokes your face. So if you felt like a cobweb feeling in your face lately, that's him stroking your face. And I do feel he's been wiping away a few tears as well, where you've been a little bit upset with things that are happening around you. But he wants you to know that he knows how you feel, my darling. He hears your thoughts. So he knows exactly, and he said you're more than welcome. Okay, so he just wants you to know that he's been wiping away your tears, and he's been kissing you on the forehead. So you've been feeling the cobwebby feelings on here and also on here, my darling. And also you've been feeling like not exactly cold, but it's like a goosebumpy feeling on this side. And that's where he sits. He sits on this side of you. So that's when he sits down. That's when he sits there. Thank you very much, my darling, and lots of love from your dad. And he says, keep your chin up, my darling, and just remember, your daddy's daughter, and you're stronger than you think. Okay, lots and lots of love. Okay, have a little drink. Okay, let me see who I'm drawn to. I've written a lot of names down here. Okay. April Keane. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. April. Hello, my darling. Now then, I do have a younger gentleman here with me. And he makes me feel that he would have been, if not a son, then a brother. He would have had that kind of love, that kind of love connection with you, and I do feel that he would have been really close to you. Hello, my darling. Thank you very much for typing that. Can you just confirm or say yes or no as to whether you've got either a son or a brother in spirit, my darling? Because I do have a younger man here, and I do feel that he would have been. He would have had that love connection, either a son or a brother. So if you can let me know before we carry on with this connection, my darling. Can you just let me know, my sweet? That'd be really good. While we wait for April. Thank you all very much for all your comments. They've been very, 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 very kind. Son, but he was young. That's fine, my sweet. They come through in a way that I can connect with them. Can I just say that it would have been quite a few years ago that he would have passed away? Is that correct? Because it's making me feel he would have been, the way I'm looking at him now, he would have been mid mid to late teens. I'm looking at him now. But then again, with spirit, they can present themselves at any age. But I do feel this is a son connection. Now, I know that he would have been he would have passed with an illness, and he's making me feel as if he. Oh, thank you very much. That's why he is. He comes through with a young man. That's fine. Thank you very much. He's making me feel as if he had an illness, and he had an illness from quite almost as he was born, if not before he was born. He was quite a sickly baby, and he's making me feel as if people think, oh my goodness, why on earth did that happen to a baby? But he's just saying this was his choice to have you as a mother, and his choice to be only on the earth plane for such a short amount of time, and his choice to go through what he went through. And he wants, first of all, he wants to say there is absolutely nothing that you could have done differently to make the outcome any different at all. Because I do feel that you have carried a lot of guilt around with you regarding his passing. And he just wants you to know that it's absolutely nothing that you could have done any differently, or absolutely nothing anyone could have done. Thank you. Okay. There's always a little bit of wondering as to whether there was something you could have done, whether there could have been something that perhaps if you checked on him, or perhaps if you didn't put him this way or didn't put him that way. I know he's saying there's absolutely nothing you could have done because it was his time to go there, and he just wanted to feel the immense love that you had for him for that short amount of time. You loved him more than you could ever thought you could have loved any other. And he just wants you to say thank you for that short time he had with you, because that was the lesson he needed to feel, was the unconditional love that you had for him. He also wants me to tell you that okay, would it have been the anniversary of his no, there's nothing you did wrong at all. That's one of the reasons why he's come through, is to say that you could have done nothing wrong, because he wanted to lift that burden off your shoulders, because you could have been carrying it around far too long. And it was his opportunity to come through tonight to let you know that there was absolutely nothing that you could have done in any way, shape or form that you could have done differently. It was always his time to go, and it was his time to go then. But he also makes me feel as if it's either would have been his birthday or the anniversary of his passing in the last couple of weeks. That's how it's making me feel. Now, if it hasn't been that, I apologise for that. But he is making me feel as if it was either a birthday or a passing that was either 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks coming up. Can you just confirm or deny that, please, my darling? Be very grateful. If you can just let me know, because his making me feel there's been a lot of thought around him coming up to him, and he's been hearing all the. No, it hasn't been the day. Okay, would this have been someone else's birthday that he would have been connected to now? More like his siblings would have been one of the birthdays, and I do feel it was a little boy's birthday or a gentleman's birthday, because I am being given a blue birthday cake. When I'm given a colour blue or a colour pink, that denotes the what person's birthday is, and he's given me this blue birthday cake. So I do feel that it's either a gentleman or male's birthday that's either coming up or just been. and I do feel it's connected to him. So if you can just let me know the answer to that, my darling. He's also making me nobody's birthday. Okay. Okay, so okay, because he has given me this birthday cake. Is there a baby due in a couple of weeks' time? And if it is, would this be a boy? Because it's definitely someone's birthday. If it's not someone who is already here's birthday, then would it be someone who is expecting a little boy that is due very soon, or just been? If you can let me know that, please, my darling, because he's definitely given me this blue birthday cake. And they don't normally give me that unless there's a birthday or a birth coming up. So if it's not a birthday, then it's a birth coming up. It was your uncle's 10th, your uncle's birthday, 10th. My favourite uncle. There we go. Thank you very much. I knew it was a gentleman's birthday. Thank you very much, my darling. I appreciate you coming back with that, because he's making me feel as if he would have absolutely loved your son, and he was your son. He felt as if he had that kind of connection with him. I just found out thank you. I just found out about my daughter respecting, but only just, and my daughter is obsessed about her brother, my son. Okay. Now, there's a 50-50 chance that your son is right. So can you please let me know, or just find me on Facebook and just let me yes or no whether it's a boy, because I do feel that if I've been given a little birthday cake, then yes, it will be a boy. But then again, I don't like doing predictions because there's always a way of being something. Anyway, I do feel your son has been around you an awful lot of times because you've been thinking about them, and the fact that your daughter has been obsessed about her brother, it just goes to show that he's been in your mind an awful lot. And the reason why he's been in your mind is because he's been trying to get through to you to let you know what he's just told you, not to feel guilty about anything, because there is nothing to feel guilty about. I already think she's going to have a boy. Yay, I have 4 granddaughters. Woo, go April. Okay. I hope it is, because your son is super excited about this new baby. And I do. He did give me this little tiny birthday cake, and when it's little, it normally means a younger person. But there was also a bigger birthday, because there was a 2-tier one, a big one and a little one. So I was wondering why that was. Thank you very much. Okay, now he's also given me a wedding ring as well. So there's either a wedding or a wedding anniversary coming up. You're welcome, April. There's a wedding or a wedding anniversary coming up. And I do feel this would be very close to you also. And he just wants you to know that he knows what's going on. So if you can just let me know if there's a wedding coming up or there's a wedding anniversary. If you just let me know whether you can understand a wedding or a wedding anniversary, and then I can let him know that he's also right on that as well, because he's such a clever lad. His life in spirit, he's letting me know, his life in spirit since he's been over has been a life of learning how to be a spirit child. And he has grown up in the spirit realm, and he's helped so many other children when they've passed over to come to terms of being in spirit. And I just had my wedding ring cut off. Happy that. Oh, I'm so sorry, my darling. But it's letting me know about this wedding ring, so that was really significant to you. So that's brilliant. Okay. Okay. He just wants you to know that he's going to be with you for the rest of your life. until you meet again in the spirit realm. Now, because your husband passed away 20 months ago, I'm going to do something I don't normally do on this kind of connection. I'm going to try and get your husband to come in with your son, because I do know that you know you're desperate to hear from him. I can feel that coming through to you. Okay. Now then, I do have a gentleman coming here. Now, he would have been quite a tall man, and he would have been quite a he wouldn't have been very slim, but he wouldn't have been overweight either. He would have been nicely covered, shall we say. Now, I do feel that he would have lost hair. So I also feel, would this be through chemo or something like that? And if it wasn't through that, then would he have had his hair cut quite short before he passed away? Because I do feel it would have been it wouldn't have been a very drawn out long illness he would have had. It would have been quite a short illness. So if you can let me know that, my darling, just let me know, then I'll carry on with this connection I've got, because I don't want to carry on with this connection if it isn't your husband, my darling. I'd rather try and get him. So I do really need to know as to whether what I've said is correct, because the more I'm connecting with this man, the more he wants to come in, and I don't want to let him in completely in case he's not your husband, my darling, if that makes sense. Okay. 5'8", hair right down to his back, looked like an Asian rock star. He was 55. Okay. Then I'm afraid this isn't your husband I've got here, my darling. I will try and ask him to come in, though. And I will ask him to give me a little bit of evidence to let me know that it is definitely him. Okay. I've asked the gentleman who come in to take a step back for a little while, because I know that he's here for someone else, but I've asked him just to take a step back to let your husband Martin in. So I am asking Martin to make his way forward, and I do feel that he is coming in, but he's being led in by an older lady. Now, I do feel if this would either be your mum or your nan, okay, or maybe his mum, but it would be either his mum or his nan, because she is leading him in. And I do feel he needs a little bit led in, because would I be right in saying that he wasn't, it's not that he didn't believe in the life, like in the spirit realm, but he had to see things to believe stuff. And he wanted to believe 100%, but he didn't quite believe it. And he's just being led in by his nan, because I do feel that he would have loved to have heard from her before he passed away. So if you can just let me know that, my darling. Now, I do feel, give me something, Martin, that she would know. Okay. Okay. He just wants you to know that everything that you both spoke about before he passed away has happened. Okay? He wants you to know that he woke up in the spirit realm. He wants you to know that his mum collected him. And he wants you to know that his dad, no, his granddad was also there. Okay, but he did say that he woke up, he went to sleep and he woke up and he was in the spirit realm. It's something you two spoke about I wonder what it's like when you pass over. Is it like going to sleep and waking up? He just wants you to know, yes, it was just like going to sleep and waking up. So if you can just confirm if that's a conversation you had with him, because I do want to make sure that this is Martin, okay? Now, he also wants me to let you know that he's met up with your son, and he wants you to know that he looks just like you. And he says, although obviously he's not going to look just like you, is the male equivalent of you. He's got your facial, your that's lovely. I wanted his mum to get him. He went to sleep on the sofa and died. Thank you, because he just went to sleep and then his mum collected him. Okay, so that's exactly, so that is really relevant. So that is Martin I've got. Thank you very much. He's also making me feel that he wouldn't have shown how very ill he was. He would have played down how he was feeling. He would have played it down to the extent that people didn't really understand how on earth he could have been so ill to have passed away. But that was his way. He's making me feel that he always used to play down how he felt. Okay. He wasn't Andrew's dad. He always respect his memory. He just wants you to know, although I know you told me he wasn't his dad, he wants you to know, as far as he was concerned, he was his dad, because you spoke about him an awful lot. But he wants you to know that he looked like you. But he did play down his illness so much so that people didn't understand how very ill he was. And that's how he wanted it. He didn't want all the sympathy votes and stuff like that. He was a very strong-willed man. He was always there for his family. He was always wanted to be the strong one. And he said, in the last few weeks, you turned into the strong one. Doesn't know you did it, because there was lots of tears before he passed away, and there's been lots of tears since he has. And he's just saying how you did not just break down when things were getting tough. He doesn't know, but he wants to say thank you for that. And he wants to say he's so proud of you. And he wants to say thank you. Thank you very, very much for everything you did for him, because there's a lot of stuff you had to do for him that wasn't the nicest of stuff to do. But he said he'd rather it as him go through it than you. Because he would have hated you to have go through what he was going through. He's also letting me know that that he understands that you don't want to go to where he's making me feel that he doesn't want you to go where his resting place is, because he's not there. He's always with you. He said he can understand if you need to go, but he doesn't expect you to go. And he's saying it's because that he's not there. He's always around you. Now, he's making me feel that he's made you jump over the last couple of days. And that's by either making a loud knocking noise or a big, like a loud rapping noise or something, either knocked or rapped, or something made you jump. And this was him, and he just wants you to know that it was him, and you was wondering as to whether it was him. Now, April, I could talk with him for a very long time. He's such a lovely man, and he's come to terms with everything that's happened to him with such grace and such is such a lovely man. And he wants you to know that he'll love you for eternity, and he'll be waiting when it's your turn, but not for a very long time. He says he doesn't want to see you until you're wrinkly like a prune. Sorry, his words. And he hopes that made you laugh a little bit. Thank you very much, my darling. Thank you very much for working with me, April. And I'm so glad that your son came through and allowed me to get your husband through. I'm so glad I did. God bless you, my darling. Please know that he's with you all the time, and he just wants to give you a great big hug and a big sloppy kiss. His words, not mine, my darling. Lots of love. Lots of love. Thank you very much, my darling. Okay. Right. Where have we got? Okay. Now I've got Rachel Kavanagh. I've just been drawn to. So Rachel, if you can just let me know as to whether you are here, my darling Rachel. Because I do. Okay, who have I got here? Okay. Hello, Rachel. Now, first of all, I've got a dog that's just come in, so I'm not sure as whether you've just lost a dog or whether there is a dog that you've got in spirit. But he would have been around about as big as a border collie, quite a hairy dog. But it's just come in, sniffed me, and just wandered off. So if you can just let me know yes or no as whether you had a dog, but that one's just come in, and I do feel it was black or black and white, something like that. Thank you very much. Yeah, he's just come in. He just wants you to know that he's fine and wants to say thank you. Thank you for allowing him to pass with dignity. That's the first thing he wanted to say. The people often ask me, how do I know what animals are saying? Well, spirit, whether they're animal or people, they all speak via thought. And animals can speak via thought. So that's why I can speak to animals, living or in spirit, which is quite a fantastic thing to be able to do, and I love it. Okay, now then. Yes, Sam's sitting here looking at me, waiting. Okay, I do have this gentleman that's coming in, and I do feel that Sam would have known this gentleman. Now, forgive me if this isn't your husband, but I do have that kind of love. And if it isn't your husband, then it must be your. Okay, can you first just let me know yes or no whether it's your husband, please? This gentleman, Rachel. Please let me know. If it's not your husband, not going to go any further than that until you let me know. Okay, Rachel, if you can just please let me know as to whether the gentleman I have here is your husband, because I do feel he comes through with a lot of love. If it isn't your, thank you, I will try and describe him. Okay, he would have been about 5'6", 5'7", so quite on the shorter side for a man. And I feel that he would have passed away in his 40s. So if you can let me know as to whether this could be your first husband, please. Please. You can let me know. Now, he would have had dark hair. He would have, he's let me know that he's something to do with driving. So I don't know whether there's anything to do with driving he used to do. It's making me, thank you, he would have been 40. That's 39, 40, yeah. So he would have been 40 that year when he passed away. Am I correct? Okay. Now, he's making me feel as if he had something to do with driving when he was on the earth plane. And it's making me feel he did this for a living. So if you can let me know, and if it wasn't for a living, then was it when he was driving when he passed away? Yes, dark hair, love cars. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, okay. It's making me feel as if the month of April was very important to him and to you. It's either to do with birthday or passing on the month of April. Would he have passed away in a car accident, Rachel, please? Because he's making me feel as if driving has got a very important, more important meaning for him, please. If you can just let me know yes or no, I'll be really grateful, and then I can carry on with what he needs to say to you, my love. Now, if it wasn't, no, not an accident. Okay. Like I say, if it wasn't an accident before you wrote that, then it must be to do with the your driving. He's just saying, just take more time to get to a place. Don't leave it late to get somewhere, because there's been a time where you've been really in a rush, and it's been either had a near miss or something happened, and it's just saying, please take your time in your driving, please. So can you understand that, my darling? Can you understand that? Because it's making me feel as if driving. Yes, yes, you had an accident. Okay. Because it's making me feel that it was because you wasn't so much speeding, but you was in a hurry because you was late, and you wasn't not that you wasn't taking due care and attention, but there was something that wasn't quite right, and you wasn't, and it was all just a blur, isn't it? And he's just saying, just please take things slower, please, because that's why he was saying about driving and having an accident. Okay. And I just misunderstood that as him having an accident. So if you had an accident, then that's not good, but it's good that he got it right. Thank you. He just wants you to know that thank goodness you're still here. Yes, you were late for work. Thank goodness you're still here, and it wasn't a bad accident. It was a bit of a hard prang, shall we say. It wasn't like one that landed you up in hospital. But it's just saying you're very lucky for it not to, because it could have been so much different. And he said he doesn't want you upstairs yet. You've got too much to do down here at the moment. He also wants to say to you that he's proud of the lady that you are and that you have become since he passed over. And I do feel that there's been a lot of progression in your work since he's passed away, and I do feel that you've progressed quite nicely within your work. And he's just saying it's nothing more than you deserve in that respect. He's also saying about either a new baby that's arriving, or a new baby that is due to arrive soon, or a new baby that's life is just going to start. So there's either a pregnancy you've just heard of, or there's a baby that's due soon. And he's making me feel about this baby. Now, it's making me feel as if this baby is quite close around you. So it's either your daughter or your son. And he's making me feel that that's the who's going to have the baby, or had the baby, or is going to have the baby. So if you can let me know that, please, Rachel, I'll be very grateful for that also. He's also making me understand that he's had a lot of thoughts of Father's Day from children that are here. So he's saying thank you for those. Don't know about the baby yet. Okay. Just hold that thought about the baby, my darling, because when I get that, it's when the life is about to start, it means that it's just starting. So you will hear about it. And I do feel this is someone who has been looking at starting a family, but hasn't been successful as yet. But please know that it is going to happen. And I do feel that they've had a couple of heartaches where that's concerned. Okay. He also wants to give you a happy birthday. So I don't know whether it's been your birthday or got a birthday coming up, but he wants to say happy birthday, happy birthday. He said it twice, so it must have been 2 birthdays that have been either coming up or just been around about this time of last month, or coming up this next month. But he wants to say happy birthday twice, so it's 2 birthdays. So if you can let me know that as well, please. He's also He also wants to say that it was him that you heard the other day calling out, and he called out your name. Did he used to call you Shell? Because I do feel it was Shell or Shelley used to call you, something like that. It was a shortened name. His birthday on the 5th. Thank you very much. I do feel he shortened your name, and he called that out, and you were sure that it was someone that was there, but you was on your own, and he just wants you to know that it was him. Now, he also wants to tell you something you've been wondering a while. He is a great... He likes your present partner. He likes him a lot. He said he reminds him of him. So I don't know whether that's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humour with him, but he's just saying he does like your present partner. So he's got oh, thank you, yes, Rach, because I knew he shortened your name, and I knew that you would have heard that being called out. But he's saying he does like your present partner. He said he likes the way he treats you. It's only the way that you should be treated. You should be treated like a lady. They're very similar. Yes, I had a feeling they were. But he said it's only how you should be treated. You should always be treated like a princess. And he said he always tried to treat you like that. And he's very glad that your partner is also treating you. Your husband now is also treating you like that. Rachel, he just wants you to know he's always thankful that you was in his life, and he's always thankful for everything you did for him before he passed. But he's also thankful for all the things that you didn't say but have said to him since he's passed. For all the things you didn't get to say to him, he's heard every word of them. And it's like I said in my reading beforehand, grief is only the residue love that we have for people that pours out to them after they pass away, because we didn't have enough time in their lives to give that to them, because we'd never have enough time. And he just wants to say thank you for that, and he thanks you for every day that you was within his life. Okay, he also wants to okay, there's a before he goes, he also wants to say that he is aware of the celebration that is going to take place in August. So I don't know whether you know of a celebration that is being taken place in August, but he just wants you to know he is aware of that. So if you're not aware of it yet, he is. So he's just saying it's going to be a wonderful day, and I do feel there's going to be a celebration there. But thank you very much for working with me. Thank you very, very much for the answering of everything that I've asked you to answer. It's been a great pleasure, and your first husband was an absolute gem to work with. He's such a lovely, lovely man. He's such a lovely soul, and he just wants you to know he loves you still with all his heart. Okay, lots of love from him, my darling, and I do say thank you for that. Okay, I've got one very, very quick reading that I can do, and I do feel okay. First one to write, I would like a message up there on there. I will give you a message. So first one to draw to right. Okay, Nicola Sam. Nicola Sam. So if you would like to just say hi to me. I would really like you to just... I do feel that you need a little bit of advice or a little bit of guidance from Spirit, Nicola. So if you can just... hello, Nicola. If you just confirm that you need a little bit of guidance from from Spirit into whether you're on the right path or whether you should have changed when you had the chance to. And I do feel there's been a time where there was a time for you to change your pathway, but at the time you did not feel it was right time for you to change. Now, you've always wondered as to whether you was right to stay on the same pathway, and Spirit are just saying no way is the wrong way. The only way that is the right way is your way. So if you didn't feel that you was ready to change the direction you was going in, Spirit just wants you to know that no way is the wrong way. It's got to be done at your pace and at your level. The opportunities to change direction or change path will come along when the time is right again, and the time that will be your decision as to whether you want to take that up. I do feel this would be within the work environment, and I do feel that there was a chance to change, either go up a step or change the way that you was being worked. So thank you very much. So they just want you to know that although that you didn't take up the opportunity to take that change when it came, doesn't mean it was wrong. It just means that it wasn't right for you at the time. So please stop worrying what if, and just think, because while you're doing that, you're looking over your shoulder wondering what would have been. Spirit just saying to you, you have to look forward and then you'll see opportunities coming your way. So stop looking back and wondering what would have happened, and just look in what can happen. And I hope that makes sense to you, Nicola. I know it's a very short one, but I just feel it's something you needed to hear. Okay. Lots of love to you, Nicola. I hope that was okay for you. Now, my guides are all telling me that it's time to start winding down. And I do feel that the time is come for me to say thank you, everyone, for working with me. I do appreciate everything and everything has been said and everyone that's worked with me. And I do thank my guides and my helpers for allowing me to talk to these lovely spirit people who come through. So thank you all very, very much. So Rob, if you're there.
I am Jackie. Thank you so much for those lovely messages and that lovely address. We'll come back to you for the closing prayer shortly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. Well, good evening, friends. We've got some new people on tonight. Welcome. Everyone's welcome here at Thundersley. I'm glad you could join us. And some of our regulars. Hello, Mia and Sheena, I saw earlier. Good to have you on board, and everyone else. So if you're new to us here at Thundersley, because we can't get round to everyone with a message on the Sunday nights, Frank from our church draws 3 oracle cards for the week ahead with an uplifting message there. Each of the cards is marked with a crystal, which you'll see in a minute. So tune into the crystal that you feel drawn to and listen to that, the message of that card, and hopefully give you something for the week ahead. So let's see what Frank has for us this week.
Good evening. Our first crystal this evening is the amethyst, and with that goes the card for the Angora rabbit. The Angora rabbit says, "Okay, you've done enough thinking. Now it's time to hop to it. This is a time of great creativity, of prosperity, and the excitement of a new adventure that is coming your way. So have faith in yourself, because you're ready to do something amazing right at this time." When rabbits decide to move, they can go from complete stillness to high speed very quickly. And this card says, so can you, if that's what you desire. It is now time, after your period of quietness and patience, to turn and go from stillness to rapid movement at the blink of an eye. Ask yourself, where do I want to go? Where do I need to take this leap of faith to? What do I want to do? And then jump with both feet, for now is your time. Rabbits are linked with creativity and fertility, and this can signal an increase in your family numbers, your circle of friends, or maybe just a time to take on something new, to do something you've been putting off for a while. Perhaps write that book that you've been wanting to write. Pursue that new career that you've been putting off. Or simply follow something that has captured your heart and makes you feel you really must do it. Not only can you do anything you want now, but you're also closing the distance between yourself and your final goal with each step you take. So now is the time to be bold. Take that leap of faith. Take a chance. And like the rabbit, go to high speed immediately. Our second crystal is the rose quartz, and with that goes the card for the collie dogs. This card says you need to review where you're heading and avoid the drama created by others, or a struggle that simply isn't worth the effort you're putting in. These look like two adorable collies, quite content with what they're doing. But the true message here is they want you to understand that your current path may not be leading you towards the happiest of outcomes. So why not change it? Collies are wonderful dogs, incredibly intelligent, loving and loyal. Our collies here are having fun, playing tug-of-war with a rope. So long as it doesn't get over competitive or take up too much energy that might be needed elsewhere, then that is fine, that is fun. But now is the time for you to drop the rope and maybe choose a new game. As with the collies, clearly there is never going to be a happy outcome to this contest. And their friendly games remind you to always stay within your integrity and your compassion when working with others. They are also giving you a warning that perhaps someone isn't coming from the high place of moral standing that you think they are. Collies are a welcome reminder to pay close attention to what is happening around you. They can suggest that you choose your battles and your rescue missions wisely. Some just aren't worth the energy they might require. This card signals you've caught up in other people's dramas at times when you would have rather been doing something else. So be careful that you don't let someone else choose your games or your missions or your battles. You choose for yourself and you choose what is right for you. And our third crystal this evening is the citrine. And with that goes the card for the polar bear. The polar bear is a symbol of transformation, divine teaching and intuition. It is a sign of awakening and faith to withstand a challenge. This card symbolises the importance of having an experienced teacher to guide you on your journey. The polar bear, due to their extreme living conditions, may suggest a black and white approach to decision making. But this may also be one of those times when a traditional route makes the most sense, or is thinking strategically to come up with a more original plan, a better solution and order for the day. Deal with challenges in a flexible and competitive way. This card also indicates the need to seek out a mentor who can help you understand who you truly are and can help you embrace your growth and evolution, and then share that knowledge with others, because all knowledge is worthless unless it is shared. Polar bears are meaningful of spiritual evolution. Their lives call for solitude and loneliness at times, but they also have great compassion and love for their children and offspring. By following their examples, you may enrich your own life's journey. Polar bears are extremely intelligent and able to adapt to their surroundings. Likewise, this card asks you to examine your situation now with an open mind and be prepared to adjust your plans accordingly, and then the outcome will be successful. 3 very good cards tonight with a lot of good advice, I feel, and thank you very much for listening to me. God bless you.
Lovely. Thank you, Frank. It's a nice way to end the service. So Fiona, Corrie and Helen, I see your messages there, and I think Jackie has as well. So I'll let you and Jackie connect outside of our service here, Facebook, or however you communicate, but I'm sure that would be fine. Okay, friends, let's go back to Jackie for tonight's closing prayer, and then that will be followed by our closing Vesper song. Over to you, Jackie.
Thank you very much. If you'd like to join me in prayer, please. Great Spirit, Eternal Light, I'd like to thank my guides and my helpers for allowing me to work with them tonight and enabling me to talk and hear our spirit friends and to give the messages of light and proof of life everlasting. I'd like to ask a ring of protection be placed around each and every one of us who have connected here tonight until we meet again. Amen.
Well, thank you once again, Jackie, for tonight's service. Lovely address earlier and all those wonderful messages. Always lovely to have you with us. Thank you to Karen Knight, who is our medium in church, and open for us in prayer. Thank you to Donna for taking the service in church. Thank you to Peter for the Bible reading there. And thank you to Frank for your cards at the end there, as always. And thank you all for watching. Good to have our regulars back and some new people tonight. You're all more than welcome with us here at Thundersley. We'll be back next Sunday at 6:30 again. So I really hope you can join us then. But have a good week in the meantime. Take care.